Ready? Exercise number 18, very important matter. Start. Sir, as far as shipping is concerned, we find that in a number of important places like Bombay, Calcutta, Haldia, and a number of other places like Cochin, berthing facilities are extremely inadequate. Because of this, we find that some of the ships carrying imported materials have to stand miles away from the ports. As a result of that, sometimes artificial scarcity is created and there is artificial inflationary pressure and artificial rise in prices takes place. I think that can be eliminated completely if more attention and priority is given to provide better berthing facilities in places like Calcutta, Bombay, Haldia, and other places like Cochin. If that is done, probably congestion in dockyards can be eliminated completely. That will also have an impact on the artificial rise in prices as a result of artificial scarcity. Stop, next para. Dredging operations are absolutely necessary. No doubt a part of this work is to be undertaken by the states, but our experience shows that dredging operations cannot be undertaken by the states at their own expense. It requires a certain type of technology. It requires a lot of expenditure. Unless central assistance is made available, dredging operations in various parts cannot be effectively done. Since there is not enough depth near the ports, ships have to halt at a considerable distance from the shore and the passengers have to be carried by launches. As a result of that, there are no adequate facilities for the passengers, and because of this, some of the ports are completely avoided by the shipping services. Therefore, this aspect is also not to be taken note of. Stop, next para. The constituency which I represent, and for that matter, the entire west coast on which there is a passenger shipping service starting from Bombay and right up to Goa, Panaji, you will find a number of docks which were formerly covered by the passenger shipping service are not covered today because there is not adequate depth. That is because a lot of silt has gathered and dredging operations have not been adequately undertaken. This can be undertaken by the state governments only with assistance from the center. Therefore, that must get priority. The Committee on Rationalization of the Size of the Ships has already made certain recommendations. The government had appointed one committee to go about this problem regarding rational shape and the size of the vessels which will be able to cover a number of small ports. Stop, next para. I am told that the report is already out. If that report is implemented on the entire west coast line, I think a number of small ports can be covered properly, and therefore that problem also has to be attended to. There is also a reference to that in the national policy document. There has been no considerable progress regarding all weather ports on the entire coastal area. There is the complaint of Kerala, this is the complaint of Konkan region. This is also the complaints of all other areas. Therefore, adequate allocations should be made available to convert the ports into all-weather ports so that in times calamities and in times of different circumstances, the traffic can be adequately managed. Stop, next para. As far as the modes of transport are concerned, there is one very significant point that has been very beautifully raised in this report. This report raises a basic question as to what is the interrelationship between the other modes of transport with the other models of transport always remain complementary or whether there will be alternatives. For instance, this report focuses a very salient aspect in the context of defense and in the context of all natural calamities. In the report, it has been pointed out in times of war, for instance, if the bombing takes place, there is an explosion, and if there is only one mode of transport in a particular big region, and if that particular mode is totally destroyed, in that case, the communication is totally destroyed. On the contrary, if there is also simultaneous motor transport and this shipping transport, in that case, if one mode of communication is destroyed in times of war or due to calamities like earthquakes or floods, some other alternative survives. Therefore, the recommendation of this National Policy Committee has been that all these modes of transport should not be treated as alternatives to each other, but they should be treated as complements to each other, so that in times of war, in times of constraints on our defense, and in times of natural calamities like floods and earthquake, if one mode is destroyed, the other will survive, and that has also to be taken note of. I may point out that only year before last there were heavy floods in the Konkan region, and the entire highway from Bombay to Goa, which passes through this particular belt of Konkan region, was badly affected by floods. That road transport was totally disrupted, and since on the particular line there was no railway communication, the total communication remained disrupted. Stop. Thank you very much. Guys, there is one humble request. Please always try to repeat the matter, then only your fluency and accuracy on steno will improve. And also there is one more request. If you found the matter is excellent, you can give your valuable comment on my YouTube channel, and also for same matter you can subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.